There's absolutely nothing better than a homemade, freshly baked bread. I will show you how to make a super simple and yet delicious bread at home that has no preservatives, no additives. You know what it's made out of, and it will stay soft and fresh for days. Let's bake it.
I will be using two types of flour. For the pre-dough, I use a stronger bread flour. For the final dough, I switch to a softer all-purpose flour. If the protein content of your flour isn't exactly the same, just try to stay close to these numbers. I'm using a poolish for this bread, which is a wet pre-dough made with flour, water, and a tiny amount of yeast. This makes the bread softer and more flavorful. You can use the poolish the same day, or you can keep it in the fridge. If you use the poolish the same day, let it ferment at room temperature for about 6 to 8 hours. It is ready when it's bubbly, relaxed, and it smells lightly yeasty. You can also make the poolish ahead of time. You can keep it in the fridge for about 2 days. But make sure before you use the poolish from the fridge, take it out at least 1 hour before mixing so it comes to room temperature. For the poolish, we need 100 grams of bread flour and 100 grams of water. And yeah, you should definitely use a bigger bowl. Small amount of yeast. Just mix it until you hydrate the flour completely and there's no more dry flour spots. I will let this ferment on room temperature for about 6 hours, or you can put it in the fridge for up to 2 days. When it's ready to use, it should look like this, slightly bubbly, and it should have a pleasant yeasty smell. If the poolish is ready, we can start mixing the bread dough. We need 120 grams of water, all the poolish that we made, 5 grams of sugar, 6 grams of fresh yeast or 2 grams of instant yeast, 250 grams of all-purpose flour, kneaded for about 2 minutes, and then you can add 8 grams of salt and 7 grams of oil. Knead it for 10 more minutes until the dough is smooth. Form it into a ball by folding it under each other so it becomes less sticky. Transfer back to the bowl and let it rest for 1 hour until it's double in size. If it's doubled, then fold it into a ball shape again by folding each side in the middle. Turn it around and start pulling it towards yourself. This way you create structure. Make sure you don't flour the surface so it will stick to it. It will be way easier. You can also pop the bigger air bubbles. You should cover it and let it rest for about 15 minutes. Then we can shape the bread. Start by turning it around and gently start pressing it to make it a little bit bigger. But make sure you don't press all the air out. Fold the dough in about a quarter of the way. Gently press it down. Then fold it in half the way. Gently press it down again. And then fold it in completely. And you can press it down with the bottom of your palms. Look at that, looks like a cute little bread. Transfer it to your parchment paper baking tray with the bottom facing down. and proof it for about 25 to 30 minutes. While the bread is proofing, let's talk about the baking methods. In order to achieve a nice bakery style bread with a really nice crust, you have to create steam in the oven while you're baking your bread. And to create steam, you need to use some sort of Dutch oven or casserole dish with a lid. I will be using this one. Any oven-safe Dutch oven or casserole dish will do. If you don't have a Dutch oven, you can still create steam. When you start preheating your oven, place an extra baking tray on the bottom of the oven, and when you put your bread inside, throw a couple ice cubes in the small tray and close the door quick. It's also important to preheat your Dutch oven when you start proofing the bread. After 25 minutes of proofing, the bread almost doubled in size. You can also check it with a poke test. If you press it and if it springs back slowly, it means it's ready to bake. If it springs back fast, it means it's underproofed. If it doesn't spring back at all, it means it's overproofed. Transfer it into the preheated casserole dish. Spray it with some water. Then you can score the bread. I will do 3 lines on the top to get that classic bread look. Put the lid on and bake it on 230 Celsius for 18 minutes. Then remove the lid, lower the temperature to 200 Celsius and bake it for about 20 minutes until it's golden brown. Transfer it to a cooling rack immediately and spray it with some water. This will make the crust a little bit softer and it will give a nicer mouthfeel. And wait until it cools down completely.
Bread is done. Look at it. It's so beautiful. It smells actually amazing. I will taste it with some butter. Freshly baked bread with butter and some salt on the top. It's just the best. I mean, I don't have to say anything. It just speaks for itself. It is so soft, crunchy on the outside, pillowy, soft in the inside. The flavor, because of the poolish, is so good. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please press the like button. If you would like to see more recipe videos, please subscribe to my channel. You can find the recipe down in the description, where you can change the recipe according how many pieces you would like to make. This bread weighs around 500 grams. If you want to make 1 kilogram, you can just double it. Thank you so much for watching again. See you guys next time.